So, we journey to the afterlife together. Pointless protege.
That was easy.
What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video. Today I want to talk about Rage 2 and how it was almost awesome. Rage 2 was developed by id Software, the creators of the first-person shooter genre and games like both the original Doom and Doom 2016, and Avalanche Studios, the developers of the highly underrated open-world Mad Max game from 2015. Rage 2 is actually very much a blend of both Doom 2016 and that open-world Mad Max. Shooting is 100% the same as it was in Doom, and combat is just as fast, but since you're trading a lot of cramped spaces for larger open areas, to me it didn't feel quite as chaotic. You can tell that Avalanche Studios were the ones handling the open world and the level design, as the world and enemy bases look like they could have been ripped directly from Mad Max. And that's not a negative. I really like the open world and enemy base designs in Mad Max. Graphically, the game looks great, especially explosions, and sound designs in the game are also great, with weapons sounding like they pack a real big punch. These are the biggest positives of the game: the looks, the sounds, and the combat. It's unfortunate then that everywhere else the game falls flat, from uninteresting characters to a story that's pretty bland, an open world that, while yes is supposed to be a post-apocalyptic wasteland, is a bit too barren, to vehicles that are not fun to drive and 98% of which are absolutely pointless, to boss battles that are entirely too easy, to weapons which many of are pointless as well, to abilities which also many of which are pointless, and a campaign that ended way before I was expecting it to. Allow me to explain. Let's start with the vehicles. The game has just over 15 vehicles for you to drive, most of which you'll have to find and bring back to any of the game's towns to permanently store in your garage, and a small handful of which are unlocked through story progression or reaching certain trust levels with characters. The problem is there are only 3 vehicles you're ever going to want to use, 2 of which are mandatory for certain things in the game, and the third of which you're going to be using exclusively the second you unlock it. First off is the Phoenix. The Phoenix is the first vehicle you get in the game, and it's also the only vehicle you can upgrade. That includes weapon upgrades and armor upgrades. Unfortunately though, no speed or handling upgrades. None of the vehicles are particularly fast, with the exception of a couple of motorcycles that are kind of fast, and all the vehicles handle poorly. It's also the only vehicle that when damaged out in the field can be repaired. So tell me, what reason do I have to drive any other vehicle I find? I'll tell you, 0. Throw in the fact that to even acquire some of these vehicles, you have to first find them, then drive them all the way back to a town. Why would I do that instead of continuing on to the next objective in the Phoenix? Exactly, I wouldn't. The inability to upgrade any of the other vehicles makes them utterly useless to you. Next is the Xerxes 3 tank. It's acquired during a story mission and is needed for one small portion of one mission. That's it. I figured since it's a tank, it would be good against the convoys. And firepower-wise, it absolutely is. The problem is, it's so fucking slow, you'll never catch a convoy. I literally chased one for about 10 minutes. Just right behind them, couldn't catch up. They weren't pulling away, but at the same time, I couldn't gain on them. So, outside of the one time during the one mission, the Xerxes 3 tank is useless. Then we come up to the killer of the other vehicles, the Icarus. The Icarus, as you can clearly see, is a hover device, allowing you to just make beelines for objectives on the map, saving you so much time by not having to drive slow, poorly handling vehicles through windy roads and rough terrain. Once you've unlocked the Icarus, you won't go back to anything else ever again. The only time you'll go back to anything is going back to the Phoenix in order to take out convoys. Otherwise, it's the Icarus all day. This was a huge missed opportunity. If you could install upgrades on any vehicle and increase the vehicle's speed and handling, it may have given you an incentive to use the other vehicles, or even if certain ones had certain abilities necessary for certain missions, then there would be both an incentive to use other vehicles as well as a reason to use other vehicles. As it stands, you have 0 incentive to do anything other than use the Icarus the entire game. The same principle I find unfortunately haunts the weapons as well. There are 9 weapons total in the game, $10 if you got the Digital Deluxe Edition, which comes with the extremely overpowered BFG from Doom, and only 8 of which are upgradable. The issue here again is I played pretty much the entire game with just the assault rifle and the shotgun. The other weapons were cool, but just not as effective. The assault rifle has fantastic range and power, and the shotgun is just the best close-range weapon in the game. The other issue is you get these pretty early on in the game, with some of the more unique weapons hidden in these vaults called arcs all over the map. So you pretty much start the game with the best weapons, especially once you start upgrading them. At no point did I feel that another weapon was better, and also ammo is so abundant that barely ever did I run out of ammo and have to switch to a different weapon. The same thing can once again be said about your nanotrite abilities, basically your superpowers. I really only used 4. The rush, or dash, is very useful for evading enemy attacks. The grab jump, or double jump, is great for traversing. The shatter, or force push, is very useful as an offensive tool, as is the slam. You can also unlock the ability to start a defibrillation minigame to revive you once after dying, but honestly, I only needed it twice. Other than that, the ability to generate a wall-shaped shield or make a small vortex launching enemies into the air are cool, but I never used them. Also, the overdrive, which is your mega power-up allowing you to deal massive damage, it's kind of like your Hail Mary play for when you're in trouble. I only used it twice, and just because I felt like it, not because I needed to. Much like everything else in the game, at least for me, most of this was things I'm never going to use or never needed to use. Also, didn't have any incentive to use. Then for me, the campaign felt very short, and none of the boss battles were difficult. By the time I got to the end of the campaign, I was saying, there's no way this is over. There must be some new twist or something coming, because this can't be the end. It can't be this. It's too quick and too easy. And then the end credits rolled, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, granted, there were still a lot of things to do on the map, but for what? I already had the best weapons. They were already fully upgraded. I mean, the only real reason to go around and continue doing all these activities was simply to clear them off the map. That's it. The game is just almost great. I think if we rework some of its systems, giving you a reason to use all the vehicles or all the weapons, like maybe make one certain enemy type only susceptible to damage from a specific weapon, making it so that certain areas of the map would be almost suicide if you didn't have that weapon. Also, if the driving was more fun, seeing as how you spend most of your time doing that, it should be fun. In Spider-Man PS4, the very first thing they did was make sure that the web slinging was going to be fun, because then you were going to be doing it a lot. Here, the driving, for me, is not fun. It's slow, they don't handle well, and it takes forever, which is why I end up using the Icarus for everything. I don't know, there's enough small things here and there to detract from the overall experience enough to make it just an okay game for me. I had some fun playing Rage 2, but not as much as I thought I would. I feel like maybe a lot of my issues may have been corrected had I been playing on a hard difficulty, maybe, but I shouldn't have to play a game on hard for it to be fun and a challenge. I don't claim to be the best gamer in the world, but I literally raped pretty much everything I came across in this game, only using 2 of the weapons and 2 of the major abilities the entire game. I also never used any of the injections, which make your health better for a short period of time or make your nanotrite abilities refresh faster. Like, literally never used them. I don't know, I was expecting to have a lot more fun than I did. I find it hard to recommend Rage 2. I mean, if you have money lying around and you absolutely need to play it, then by all means, honestly, I would say rent it or borrow it from a friend and wait for Borderlands 3. Well, that's the video, guys. Let me know in the comments. Did you play Rage 2, and what do you think? If you haven't, or you're thinking about playing Rage 2. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next Supernova.